Would you like to earn a lot more money? And are you open to being rich? If so, you have definitely come to the right place. My name is Harv Eker, and welcome to my web class, Zero to Multimillionaire. I truly appreciate you spending your time with me here today. And my intention is that you not only get a ton of value out of this, but that your life may actually change, for the better, of course. I encourage you to listen very closely and stay to the end, because by the end of this class, you're going to recognize a lot of things you may be doing that are actually preventing you from success. And more importantly, you'll know specific strategies to use instead, strategies that can actually produce real wealth in your life. So I invite you to pay very close attention, almost as if your life depended on it, because financially, for many of you, it actually might. So if you have your cell phones out, or email open, or Skype open, or anything else around you that could possibly distract you, please do yourself a favor and just put it away for now. I'm about to share with you several difference makers, principles that actually make the difference between getting rich and staying middle class or broke. So thank you for doing that. Now, for those of you who don't know me, is it okay if I tell you just a little bit about myself and why you might consider listening? I did not say believing, I said listening to what I have to say. With all humility, I went from broke and borrowing $2,000 on my credit card to becoming a millionaire in only 2.5 years. I also opened the largest retail fitness chain in the entire world. I founded what was the largest personal success training company in the entire world. I have marketed over $500 million worth of product. I happen to be the author of the #1 New York Times, #1 USA Today, and #1 Wall Street Journal bestseller, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which has sold over 2 million copies and is in 39 different languages. I currently have well over 1 million students, and my courses are being taught in 35 different countries all around the world without, and I repeat, it's a big one, without me being there. And most importantly, I never, ever have to work another minute in my life if I don't want to. Sound good? Well, it's great now, but I can still remember when it wasn't great. In fact, I can remember when it was a complete disaster. I grew up with parents that came from Europe. They were in the war. And so when I was young, I was taught that money means survival. Survival. It doesn't mean new clothes, a hot new car, a new boat. It means survival. If you had a lot of money, you lived. If you didn't have a lot of money, you died. It was as simple as that. I left school after first year of college because I wasn't a millionaire yet. And over the next 10 years, I went through 14, let me say that again, 14 different jobs and 12 different businesses. And I was constantly broke. I remember always having to make a choice between putting $5 worth of gas in my car or eating dinner that night. I'll tell you what, it was a horrendous way to live, and trust me, I tried everything, but I just could not create success with anything I did. And it wasn't like I wasn't trying to learn as well. I mean, I was. I read all the books. I listened to all the tapes. I went to all the major seminars. But nothing that they taught me seemed to work for me. I ended up moving back in with my parents and living in their basement because I was broke again. Then by, I guess, a stroke of luck or good fortune or serendipity, I met a friend of my father's that was over at my parents' place, and they were playing cards. And he said that he heard that I was broke and depressed and that I couldn't make a decent living. I said, "Where'd you hear that?" He said, "Your father." I said, "Oh, thanks a lot, Dad." Anyways, he then proceeded to give me some advice that was to change my life. He said, and please listen closely, he said this. He said, "Harv, if you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing right now, all that means is that there is something you don't know." Now, Being a brash young man at the time, I thought I knew pretty well everything. But obviously that wasn't so because of my results, remember? And so for one of the first times, I actually listened. He said, "Don't you realize that rich people tend to think and do things the same way as each other?" And then he asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, well, I want to get rich. And he said, in what arena? I said, in business. And he said, so why don't you study rich business people and see what they did and what they do? You know what? I don't even know why I'd ever thought of it before, but I never did. And it just seemed to make sense at the time. It was one of those things. You know what I'm saying? Plus, there wasn't much else going on. So I spent the next 6 months and I devoted myself to studying rich people. And in fact, I did find many, many similarities and principles they seemed to use, especially when it came to business. So I borrowed $2,000 on my credit card and I started a new business and I put these principles to the test. And all I can tell you for sure is that they worked. I opened one of the first retail fitness stores in the world, and I ended up opening 10 more stores in only 2.5 years, and I became a millionaire. And of course, I got myself a car finally, and I got myself a house finally, and I got myself some decent clothes finally. And people who I'd known from before, well, they started asking me, hey, what did you do? They said, what the heck happened? I mean, when I knew you, you were broke. You never had any money. You were always bumming rides because you didn't have a car. Now you're pretty well rich. How did this happen? So I began sharing some of the principles that really made the difference for me between when I was broke and when I became comparatively rich. And this seemed to really resonate with them because they were making some of the big mistakes that I had made. And the information made a huge difference in their lives too. So, needless to say, I've continued to learn more and earn more, and of course, teach more now. As they say, hindsight is 20/20, and so I can really see the difference between who I was and what I used to think and do when I was broke versus now that I'm a multi, and I can go on for a few minutes, millionaire. So that's what you're here to do today. That's what we're here to do, to learn some of those critical differences, because my guess is that many of you are in the same position that I was. Not necessarily broke, but maybe not as rich as you'd like to be either. So let's talk about just a few of the lessons that I learned that made the biggest difference for me, and I hope, I pray, will make the biggest difference for you too. Let's go with number 1. Very simple. Own your own business. Now you may do that now, you may not do that now, but whatever it is, if you own your own business now, this may reignite you or give you some other clues if you were thinking otherwise. Let me ask you this question. In your opinion, what's the best way to make sure you win a game? Well, there's a lot of good answers, but here's the best one that I know. How about make the rules and be able to change the rules whenever you want? You're pretty sure to win the game, right? Remember, I had 12 businesses, but I also had 14 different jobs. So I really was pretty unsure about which way to go, especially when my businesses weren't doing well. I always went back to a job. So I was wondering, should I go the job route? For sure, more security, less risk, a steady paycheck, and can probably sleep well at night. Or should I go back to owning a business? More risk, but definitely more upside. Well, after all these years and after all of these trials, I can safely say that for me, it's not even close. What I actually realized was that I was and am unemployable. Hence, going through 14 jobs before I realized that. I just cannot work for someone else. I don't know, I guess I must have a problem with authority, but I'm just not good with other people telling me what to do, what I can do, and what I can't do, when to come, when to go, when to pee, when to whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think you know what I mean. And I don't know about you, but I like to be in charge of my own life. I also really enjoy being creative and coming up with ideas and being able to implement those ideas without having to get some kind of approval from some higher up or go through an entire political process to get something done. What I especially like about owning your own business is that you have put yourself in a position where creating wealth is at least possible. Now, think of it this way. You know, tennis. Everyone's watched tennis, played tennis, whatever. But if you're playing tennis and the ball is way over here, okay? And so the first thing you have to do if you're going to hit the ball is, if you're way over there, you've got to get yourself in position to be able to hit the ball. You can't hit a good shot from way back over there. There's no way. Well, it's the same with wealth. You have to give yourself a chance. And your best chance comes with your own business. You know, the research shows that 90% of all self-made millionaires did it in their own business. Why? Well, let me tell you why. Because of what I call wealth rule number 1. Make sure you memorize this. You write this down. You print it on your forehead, on your mirror. Wealth rule number 1, and here it is. No limits on your income. I will repeat that. No limits on your income. Here's the problem. If you are in a job or you get paid a set salary or even any situation where you get paid by the hour, that means you are being paid for your what? Your time. And of course, here's the challenge. There's only 24 hours in a day. And since time and your time is limited, your income becomes what? Limited. And you've broken the most important rule of wealth. Again, no limits on your income. Listen, I'm not saying you can't get rich with a job. You know, if you happen to be the CEO of one of the largest companies in the country, sure, maybe you can. You probably will. It's also very possible to become financially free with a job, as long as you are a great, let me repeat, a great money manager and a great investor, which of course most people aren't. But again, you can get free. I just wouldn't count on getting rich. None of this is to say that every single person is cut out to own their own business, though. You know, the fact is some people just aren't. They're just not built for it. Not that you can't learn, but if someone needs, I repeat, needs to fit into a structure that's already there, and they do need constant direction from someone else, and they prefer security over wealth, then they truly might be better off with a good job. And you know what? Good on them. Good on them. I truly wish them, I truly wish, if that's you, I wish you all the best. It's just not for me or anyone else who really wants to get rich. So bottom line, when I was broke, I was going back and forth between job and business and job and business, etc., etc. Now that I'm rich, however, I would never even consider a job. In fact, I'm already semi-retired and I only work once in a while because all my businesses run without me. But you know what's funny? I do get offered jobs all the time. And you can imagine it's for big money. And it's funny, I always say the same thing. I say, no, thank you. I have a job allergy, you see. I actually start sneezing and breaking out in hives. I become depressed. So thank you so much for your offer. But I'll tell you what, your business sounds great. And if you're looking to sell it, let's talk. Truth is, I actually don't say that I have a job allergy out loud, but it's true. It's true because job and rich, they don't go together. Let me repeat that. Job and rich do not go together. But Harv, don't you know that 80% of all new business startups fail in their very first 3 years? Yeah, I think I've heard that. And there's a reason that they fail. Here it is. Those people don't know what they're doing. And they're probably doing everything that I did that didn't work. What I know for sure is there are ways to do business that actually work in the real world and ways to do business that actually do not work in the real world. And you have to know the difference. And from my experience and with my students, the results are just the opposite, actually. 80% succeed in their business, and the others, they don't continue because they found this particular business didn't suit them, and so they close that one down and they start a newer one. They don't fail at it. They just go, you know, it's not for me. This one would work better. So we're going to cover a lot more about that a little bit later, but for now, let's get to the key lesson here. So broke Harv had jobs. Rich Harv owns businesses. I'd like to offer you something called a declaration. I do this in my live seminars, but let's do it together too. Why not? It's very, very worthwhile, I find. It's simply a statement that you're going to make out loud. And what it does is it actually sends a vibration through your entire body that is in alignment with what you want to ingrain into you. Here's your declaration. I own my own business because I choose to be rich. Would you repeat that with me? Let's play. Let's just have some fun. I own my own business because I choose to be rich. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take one hand, take another hand, give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. All right, good job. All right, so you've never done anything like this on a webinar. I understand, but whatever, it works. Doesn't hurt to say you're amazing, does it? Because you are. All right, let's get to the second point here. Here it is. Here it is. Focus, focus, focus. As I mentioned, I think, I went through 12 different businesses. What I didn't mention was that I actually had 4 businesses at one time. I had a line of novelty t-shirts that was actually going pretty well. And then a friend of mine, he showed me these very unusual hats. They actually had stuffed animals on them, and they were very, very cool. They were fun, and he said, hey, Harv, you're already going out there. You're already visiting all these shops. Why not carry this line of hats and show them this line too? And you can then pass by some schools and the universities, and clubs, and you're going to double your income. You know what I said? Sounds good. And what did I do? I got into the hat business as well. A short while later, I discovered this really, really cool line of jewelry. I said to myself, hey, I'm already out there on the road. Maybe I can stop into some jewelry stores and sell them this line, and I could even earn even more money. A few weeks after that, another friend shows up, and he shows me what he's doing. He had these coupon books. And these coupon books gave people discounts on all sorts of things. You've probably seen them. And you can actually save thousands and thousands of dollars if you use them, and it only costs $30. So what do you think I said? Hey, you know what? I'm already on the road, and I'm meeting all these people. I'll just show them the coupon books, and now I'll really be making a fortune. And besides, you know what's going on in my mind? I also thought in the back of my mind that if I had more than one business, it would be safer. It would take the risk out of it. And it would assure me of some kind of success because I always had a backup in case something else didn't work. So what was the result of all this? Well, I went from doing pretty decent to completely broke again. I couldn't understand it. How could more be less? And that's because at the time, I didn't understand something called energy. Bottom line, it takes an enormous amount of energy to get something going, especially at the beginning. Let me give you an example. Imagine a rocket launching, okay? And imagine all the power that it takes to get this thing off the ground. Obviously, all the thrusters have to be facing in the same direction, especially at the beginning for the rocket to escape Earth's gravity, yes or yes. Now, imagine for just a moment, one of the thrusters, let's say it's got 3 thrusters facing down, boom, right? One of the thrusters was facing outward instead of directly down. It was facing outward. Let me ask you a question. What would happen? Simple. That rocket would go crash and burn. Why? Because it takes massive energy. 1,000% focus in one direction for the rocket to launch successfully. You know what? Same in your business. It takes everything you've got, every resource, every ounce of energy at your disposal to launch successfully. And what did broke Harv do? I dissipated my energies. I scattered my resources. I did not focus, and I crashed. But Harv, if you notice, most rich people, including yourself, have all kinds of things going on. They've got several businesses. They got real estate holdings, stocks. They're diversified. Okay, I get it. Let me say this loud and clear, please. Yes, it's true. Rich people, well, they're usually diversified. Once they are rich, but you do not, I repeat, do not get rich by being diversified. You get rich by being focused, laser focused. Every single person, listen to this closely, please. Every single person who became rich did so in one, I repeat, one arena. One. See, just one arena. Anybody ever heard of Bill Gates? Was it his current real estate holdings that made him rich? No, it was something called his computer software program, right? Those programs did it. That's it, just one. Have you ever heard about a gentleman by the name of Orville Redenbacher? Where did he make his money? He made his money with a little food called popcorn. That's it. Not popcorn and furniture, just popcorn. And on and on and on and on. And you know what? You got me, okay? Sure, there might be a few exceptions in the world, but trust me, you don't want to be one of them. You're also going to hear people talking about this concept called multiple streams of income. Again, I have over 1 million students, so I hear it all. I mean, I really do hear it all. They'll come walk up to me at a break, go, Harv, what about multiple streams of income? That's great. But again, later, you do that later. If you are trying to work at 2 or 3 or more streams of income at once, you will crash and burn. Besides, why would you even want multiple streams of income if it means working multiple times more? Not only does that not work, you're going to be run ragged. So first thing we have to do is make sure that this term, multiple streams of income, that you really understand what it's supposed to mean. So let's change that term to something that makes a lot more sense. And what we want is multiple streams of passive income. Multiple streams of passive income. And let's start by having one. I repeat, one stream of active income, okay? And that is your business. Your one and only business that you focus 100% on. And yeah, for sure, sometimes it's appropriate to have your job or even an old business going and start a new business part-time, because you know what, that's the only way you can do it and still keep the ship afloat. And you know what, that is really good. You need to keep the ship afloat. You should constantly be earning income. Do not kill off your income. If you have to start something part-time, do it, and do it full on though, as best you can. But as soon as you can, you must get back to one single focus. So you might be asking, well, what did I do after my 4 businesses at once fiasco? Well, first I cried, really. I'm laughing now, but trust me, I cried. And then I actually wrote down the lesson. And then the day I opened my first retail fitness store that I told you about, I made a solemn vow. And my vow was that I, T. Harv Eker, would stay in this one single business until I was either bankrupt or a millionaire, and that I would not change and I would not add anything to it. And you know what? I now attribute my single-minded focus to my success. You see, broke Harv scattered his energies. Rich Harv is laser focused, because focus is power. Power is the ability to do and therefore succeed. Got it? So here's your declaration. I focus, I focus, I focus. Please repeat that with me. Here we go. I focus, I focus, I focus. Now give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. Okay, I hope you're having a good time. Why not? You know, life's meant to be enjoyed. Hey, we get rich, but definitely be enjoyed for sure. All right. Let's go to the third critical lesson and principle here. And here it is. Do what you love. Do what you love. I remember when I was young, my parents, they would ask me what I was going to do when I grew up. I'm sure your parents ask you the same as everybody else has, right? And I would answer, well, you know what? I'm not sure yet, but when I find something I really love, I'll know it. And you know what? They would actually get upset with me and they'd scold me. Harv, don't be such a princess. You're not a Pollyanna, you do what makes you the most money. Remember, business and enjoyment are different. During the week, you work. And on Saturday night and Sunday, you can enjoy. And that's the way life is. That's real life. Get used to it. And so I did. I looked for business opportunities that could make me rich. I was convinced, let me repeat that. I was convinced that if I could find just the right business at the right time, I'd make millions. In fact, my expertise became in finding today's hottest new businesses, and I was very good at it. I could actually smell a trend in its infancy just beginning to happen. And so I went through business after business thinking that the key ingredient was having the right vehicle. The problem was that I kept finding things wrong with that business, and more importantly than that, I wasn't succeeding anyways. The same business that was working for others wasn't working for me. As I mentioned before, I ended up so broke, I had to move back in with my parents again. Now, I was living in Florida at the time, and they lived up in Canada. And I showed up smack dab in the middle of a winter storm. Now, I happened to be big into fitness myself at the time. I always worked out. I ran like crazy. I used to run between 5 and 8 miles a day along the beach. But when I got to Canada, first, there was no beach, obviously. And second, I couldn't barely walk in the snow, let alone run in it, okay? And so I started looking for fitness equipment that I could buy and use in the house. There was hardly any. And everything that was there was pure garbage. So I said to myself, there's no money in fitness. It's just my hobby, but maybe I'll open a fitness-based business. So first, I can have some equipment to use. And second, maybe I can share some of my passion and knowledge with others and help them along. And so was born the original idea of a home fitness retail store. It wasn't because I was sure to make a fortune in this arena. It was because I was totally into it myself. It was my pastime, my hobby. I loved being in shape. I loved, and I still love, talking about fitness and exercise. I loved reading about it. I loved everything about it. And it was out of sheer frustration of not succeeding in anything else that was supposed to be this hot business that I was actually willing to try. And I said, what the heck? I'll do this just because I like it. And if I make enough to survive, at least I'll survive. At least I'll enjoy it. And of course, as they say, the rest is history. I got rich, and I learned a very, very valuable lesson. And the lesson is, the shoe has to fit. I repeat, the shoe has to fit. You know, in my live seminars, to prove this point, I often ask the participants to take their shoes off, and they oblige, they do. And then I say to exchange those shoes with the person beside them. And they do, and then I say, I want you to then walk in the other person's shoes. And I'll tell you what, it is absolutely hilarious to watch this, because nobody can walk like 5 yards without either falling over or sitting back down because their feet hurt so bad. And then I say, how many of you would be willing to walk in those shoes for 8 hours a day, the shoes that don't fit you? And they all laugh and they go, of course not. Who would do that? And I answer, you would. You would. All of you who are in a business or even a job that you don't love. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to love every single thing about it. You know, nothing's perfect that way. You know that. But you do have to at least have a strong interest in the arena. And hopefully maybe even a bit of a natural talent in the arena as a whole. And I don't mean the technician part. I mean the industry, the field, the arena. And so maybe you're not the greatest golfer yourself, but you love golf. Maybe you love books. Maybe you love fashion. Maybe you love furniture. And maybe you love video gaming. Great. Then that's the arena you should be involved in. Why? Well, first, because you're going to enjoy your life more, and I think that's important, and I'm sure you agree with that. But second, because you're going to have much, much more success. You're going to have more success because you'll have more energy, more excitement, and more enthusiasm around this business. And you know what? Enthusiasm is the greatest sales factor in all of existence. I'm going to say that again because people don't really understand this too well and they don't use it. Enthusiasm is the greatest sales factor in existence. Enthusiasm is energy. It is a contagious energy. Your excitement and your energy are transferred to your prospective customers or clients, and they are much, much more prone to buy from you. Now, another reason you're going to succeed is because you will at least stay with that business. I want to give you an example that's been very effective, again, in my seminars. Suppose, for example, that you are on a highway, a freeway, okay? And you are, you know where you're going. You want to get there fairly quickly. What lane would you be driving in? The regular, let's say the right lane, and at least where I'm from, in North America, let's call it the slow lane or the fast lane, the express lane, right? Well, you'd say, I would drive in the express lane. I'm not getting off for a while. I'm going pretty far. Now, that's great. Now, let me ask you another question. What happens if you're not sure where you're going? In fact, you're looking for an exit, an exit. And you're looking for it. You're not exactly sure where it is or what it looks like. What lane would you now be driving in? Well, most people would say, I'd move over to the other lane, the slow lane, and because I'm looking for an exit, right? And so I don't want to miss my exit. And here's the thing. It's exactly the same when it comes to business, you see. In my experience, so many people are looking for an exit out of their current situation. And it's mostly because they don't love what they do. And if you're one of these people that's constantly looking for a way out, another possibility, another opportunity, something else, you will not be driving in the fast lane. You will always be driving subconsciously in the slow lane because you are looking for an exit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's imperative. You will succeed to a much greater extent simply by being in a business, in the arena that you love. Okay, how do I know what I love, Harv? I'm not all that sure, I'm confused sometimes. I'm just not sure. So let me ask you, what are your hobbies? What are your activities that you do? What are your interests? What do you do in your spare time? What would you do if you did have spare time? What do you talk about? What do you like talking about? Here's an exercise that I give to my students. At lunchtime, I say, go out at this lunch and I want you to purchase 3 magazines. And I send them to a very big magazine store. And they do it. And when they come back, I ask them to write down the topics, the subjects of those magazines. And then I ask them, why did you buy those particular magazines? And they answer, because I'm interested in that. And I say, duh, of course, maybe that's a field to consider. You understand? One of the fastest way to do this, go buy some magazines. Just see what you normally would buy. Though you're not buying those magazines if you're not interested in the topic and the arena. It's a great way to do it. I did that. Anyways, the final clue I'll give you right now is this one. What are you naturally talented at? Not so much a learned skill set, because you could have been talked into doing that a long time ago. Maybe it wasn't your full choice at the time, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about your natural abilities, your natural talents. What are you naturally pretty good at that a lot of others, they might have some challenges with? Are you naturally a good communicator, a good writer, a good speaker? Are you naturally compassionate? Do you have an eye for fashion? Do you have a knack for home renovations? Are you good with your hands? The solving problems turn you on. The solving problems, and is the world of the legal world of interest to you? See, then you can match that together. Whatever it is, it could be a great clue to your passion. Regardless, Harv believed that work is work and joy is joy, and the two never go together. Rich Harv now knows that if you don't do what you love, you will hate your life and go broke. And that following your natural joy is the only way to true and lasting happiness and success. So here's your declaration. I know you're waiting for it. I love this one. Here it is. I get rich doing what I love. Repeat that with me, please. I get rich doing what I love. Now give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. All right. Are you having fun yet? I hope so. Okay. Here we go. Number 4. You are the root of your success. Let me say it again. You are the root of your success. Remember that I just mentioned that my earlier philosophy was that if I got into the right business at the right time, I was sure to get rich. Well, that led to another major lesson. So I had this belief that all I needed was a hot business concept, something that others were killing it in, and that of course I would too. And I tried, but it wasn't working. You remember that, right? And so finally a friend calls me up from California and tells me about this new business he's in. And he's making a fortune. And that I got to get into this business. I got to jump into it right away and start doing it. And I should do it out east, right? And I remember him leaving the conversation with these exact words. It was like yesterday. He goes, Harv, my friend, welcome to the Wealth Club. And I think you probably can imagine how excited I was. I was like, oh my God, I finally got it. Finally, all my work was going to pay off. Finally, I was going to realize all my dreams. It was now going to happen. Fast forward 5 months. My friend, still killing it. Even more, making a fortune. Me, I'm losing more and more and more money. It's hemorrhaging. And I'm just about broke again. I could not believe it. How could this be? How could I be going bust in the very same business that he was making a fortune in? I remember standing in front of the mirror, wondering what to do next. And then, like a ton of bricks, it hit me. I remember saying to myself, wow, maybe it's not the business. Maybe it's me. I had to take a deep breath because I was getting depressed. I was actually embarrassed. Could it be true? Could it actually be that I was the problem? So I kind of moseyed around for a few days and I got a call from a very old friend. And the first thing I said to him was, I'm not interested in any business opportunity, but thank you. He laughed and you know what he said? He said, I'm not calling you about that. I'm calling to invite you to a course that I'm doing. It's been really great for me and I'm learning a lot about myself. I think you'd enjoy it, Harv. I said, what kind of course? He said, it's a personal development course. I looked up to the sky and the sky said to me, Harv, you have nothing to lose. You need to do something different. You need to shake it up a bit. So I went. And I'll tell you what, that decision transformed my life. Because it was actually the very first time I really looked in what I call the inner mirror. I looked in the inner mirror. I examined my thoughts, my beliefs, my character, and my habits. And you know what? I didn't like what I saw. I saw an angry, frustrated, disappointed, jaded, egotistical young man who thought he knew more than he really knew, as evidenced by the results in his world. I saw that my mindset was actually set for failure and struggle instead of success. I saw that my character that I was so proud of, well, it had some huge flaws in it. And I saw that my habits were not overly positive and were extremely unproductive. And the biggest thing I saw was that the one and only reason I had not been successful is not because of the businesses I chose. And not because of the suppliers that I had, and not because of the partners I got involved with. It was because of me. Me, me, me. I was the cause of it all. You see, I finally understood what I now teach to everyone, that your thoughts, listen closely please, your thoughts, they lead to your feelings, which then lead to your actions. And all that leads to your results. See, I had a bad case of stinking thinking, but I didn't know it at the time. And I didn't know that it had infected my entire world. It was a hard pill to swallow, but I vowed that I would change. I would change that. And I began devoting almost full time to working on myself and making the internal changes necessary. And guess what happened? As I grew, I recognized that my money grew. And I realized that your business and your money can only grow to the extent and the level and the height that you as a person do. I realized that you are the root. You are the root cause of success, mediocrity, or failure in your life. I realized that for better or for worse, I created my life as it is, and there is no one to blame for anything. In short, I finally took, for the first time, full responsibility for my results and my life. And instead of making me feel bad, guess what? I finally felt free, because I really understood that if I can create my life, and I do create my life, I can change my life and create a new life. And you know what? I did. And so can you. It all starts and it all ends with you. Who are you? Your thoughts, your character, your habits. You know, let me give you a quick example, a quick story about this. You know, I have a son, Jesse. He's an amazing young man. And when he was in college, it was interesting. First year of college, I mean, he was always a very sharp kid, but as you might know, sharp kids don't always apply themselves fully. And so even through all of high school and all of school, actually, my daughter, Maddie, she was always getting the straight A's and everything. She worked really hard. Jesse, you know, closer to the B's and some C's, and didn't work all that hard. He had other interests. He was a star soccer player, football player, had a lot of friends, and was having a good time. I couldn't fault him for that, okay? But first year of college comes up. And he's in university, and I see his first semester marks, and I go, Jess, these marks are not good. I mean, in fact, they're pretty bad. And he goes, yeah, well, and I knew he was first year college. Come on, you know, having some drinks, meeting a bunch of friends, girls, and the whole bit, partying out of the house. Come on. But the marks, he wasn't being successful, and it bothered me because it had been going on for quite some time, his whole school life. And I was concerned. And I was concerned not because of school, I was concerned about his future. And so I said something to him. And I said to something that I guess he resonated with. Because you know what? He always wanted to be highly successful. And why not? Very rich. And so I said, Jess, you want to be rich, right? And he said, absolutely, of course. I said, you want to be successful? He says, of course. I said, guess what? That's not going to happen for you. You're probably, if you get rich, it's going to take you a long time to do so. You know, you might be in your 50s, your 60s. He goes, what are you talking about, Dad? I'm gonna get rich in my 30s, in my 20s. Not a chance. Jess, I have well over 1 million students even then. I teach all over the world. I've seen your style. I've seen people like you, exactly like you. You're my son and I love you. But here's the reason you're not going to get rich. You're not going to get rich because you don't have rich habits. You're not going to be successful because you don't have success habits. You have the opposite of success habits. You have unsuccess habits. You could have heard a pin drop. You know, as I said, he's a great kid, and he was always very respectful. But he has his own way. And he said to me, Dad, you're right. I said, because if you can't be successful in what you're doing right now, which happens to be your school, why do you think you'll be successful later on? If the habits that you have are not producing success now, those habits are just going to become stronger and they will not produce success later either. Okay, let's fast forward again. The next semester, he applied himself. He began studying. He began doing the work. He changed his habits on his own. He got a 4.0 average, which for those of you who don't know is extremely good. And he made the dean's list. And you know what? As it is today, he's already well on his way now to becoming a millionaire on his own. Why? He has great, great success habits. So bottom line, for your business to get better, you have to get better. For your money to grow, guess what? You have to grow. You have to grow yourself. In short, Broke Harv believed it was all about getting into the right business. Rich Harv knows for certain it's all about the right you. You are the root of your success. One more tiny example. The right business, the right vehicle, that's the race car. But the race car cannot win by itself. And you can have the best race car on the planet. But if someone's a bad driver, if you're not a good driver, it's over. You've got to have a great race car, but you better be a great driver. Understand? Both have to be in place. Here's a declaration for you. I am the root of my success. Please repeat that with me. I am the root of my success. Give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. Okay. Are you ready for number 5? All right, you guys are doing great. You know, I'm excited because I'm hoping a lot of these things, they seem so obvious. They're common sense, right? You know what's really the least common thing in the world? Common sense. Number 5, to get paid the best, you must be the best. Oh, of course. We all know this principle is true in sports. You know, for the most part, the best players, well, they get paid and they earn the most money, right? Well, most people know Tiger Woods, he was the best golfer in the world and he made the most money. It's very simple. When Rory McIlroy, I don't know if you know him, he just a couple of years ago, he became the #1 player. He got a $100 million contract. I mean, these guys and they win all their tournaments, they make a fortune. You know, basketball, there's a fellow by the name of LeBron James. He's the best player. He makes the most money. And here's an interesting one. You know, there's only a tiny difference between a baseball player batting an average of what they call 250. That means he gets a hit 1 out of every 4 times he's at bat. Between 250 and 300, the difference between 250 and 300 is the difference between earning 1 million a year and 10 million a year. So we all know that in sports, how good you are at what you do pretty well determines your income. But for some reason, we think that in business, this just doesn't apply. It just doesn't matter. Again, in my live seminars, I often ask people, how good are you at what you do? Not just the technician part, but all of your business in general. And then I say to them, you know what? The easiest way, if you really want to know how good you are at what you do, is simple. Look at your paycheck. Look at your income. That's going to tell you for sure. And again, the room usually goes completely silent. See, the fact is, most people have never made being the absolute best in their specific business, and in business in general, a huge priority. So I'm going to ask you, how good is your product? How good is your service? Mostly, how good are you in your specific business and business practices and strategies in general? Have you heard of a gentleman, an author by the name of Malcolm Gladwell? In his best-selling book called Outliers, that book looked at the commonality among the most successful people in the world. And what his research found was that it took at least, listen closely now, 10,000 hours of practice to become a master in each and every arena he researched. meaning that people actually trained and practiced and learned for 10,000 hours before their mastery actually set in. So how about you? How many hours do you train in your arena, in your field? How many hours do you practice your craft? How many hours do you study business and learn? Well, Tiger Woods trains at least 6 hours a day. LeBron James, well, he practices and watches film at least 6 to 8 hours a day. And this is on top of their actual playing time in the evening for them. Let me ask you this. How long does an athlete, an Olympic athlete, have to train before coming in, let's say, last place, let alone winning a gold medal at the Olympics? I don't know. You tell me, is it 6 hours a day for 5 years straight? Probably at least. Again, how much attention are you giving to becoming the absolute best? I said the best in your field, and the best in your business, and the best in business in general. You know, as I teach around the world, students constantly come up to me and they ask, oh, Harv, how can I become a great trainer? And I know they also usually mean rich trainer. And so I answer, well, you know, I would, if I was you, I would take our Train the Trainer program. And I would also volunteer to assist at the events so you can see how the business is run. They go, well, I don't really have time to do all that. I say 2 words. I love you, but you're broke. I'm pretty famous for saying that. I always say you're broke to people who are not willing to do what it takes to succeed, because they're broke now and they always will be broke. So what I mean is there's not a chance in heck that these people will ever succeed, because, as I said, they're not willing to do what it takes to be great at what they do, let alone the best at what they do. Funny, a lot of people, when they do the courses live, they say, wow, Harv, you know, you're one of the, and again with humility, you're one of the best trainers on the planet. You're just naturally gifted at this. And I said, it's funny. It's funny to me because they never ask about the dozens of times that I volunteered and supported other people's programs when I first got started. They never ask about the fact that I studied accelerated learning technologies, super learning, for years and years and years. They never talk about the fact that I took acting lessons, I took voice coaching, I studied other people's courses, took notes. I took and I still take notes at shows and concerts that I attend. Oh, look, Madonna's sitting down in the front of the stage now, and look how she quieted down, how she's got her hand on her heart. I take notes on all that, you know? They never ask about the hours and the days that I spent in front of a mirror practicing. And they never ask about the fact that I actually read many books on writing and communicating and editing. Do you get it? Do you get it? How good are you at what you do? How good a business person are you? Well, again, look at your paycheck. Look at your income. Do you want it to be bigger? Do you want it to be better? Then you be better. In fact, you need to be the best. So broke Harv, well, he just winged it and he hoped for the best. Rich Harv studies, trains, and practices in an attempt to actually be the best. Be the best. So here's your declaration. And if you do this, by the way, if you do this, your life will change. Because not only will you make more money, not only will you be more respected, not only will you win all the awards if that's what your interest is, but you will feel great about yourself. You will feel great that you are all about excellence and that you're the best. You worked at it and you made it. You did whatever it takes. So your declaration is this: I am the best in the world at my business. I am the best in the world at my business. You're repeating that, right? Now give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. Okay, so now let's put all of this together into what I call the ultimate business success formula. I want you to imagine a kind of an upside down triangle, okay? So, you know, it's up here and it kind of goes down to a point on the bottom. And on one side of the top corner, I want you to describe that. I want you to mark that, label it as RV, RV. And on the other side of the top, I want you to label that as RK, RK. And on the very bottom, on the point, I want you to label that as RY. RY. So what do these stand for? Okay, can you guess? All right, I'm going to tell you. Here we go. RV stands for right vehicle at the right time. RK, well, that stands for the right knowledge. And RY, well, that stands for the right you. So no question about it. For sure, you're going to need the right vehicle at the right time. Okay, we all probably agree with that. Now, RK, this is actually broken up into two elements. It's broken up into knowledge, business-specific knowledge, meaning your specific field or your industry. So, if, for example, if you sell, I don't know, pies, what do you know about making and selling pies? And the other part of this is what we call business in general business knowledge, meaning business practices and strategies that are the same and used in pretty well any and every business, regardless of the field, product, or service, okay? All right. And then, of course, we have on the bottom, on the very bottom root here, what do we have? RY, the right you. You are the base, the foundation. You are the glue. The right you is the glue that holds this all together. Now, here's the thing. You absolutely need, in all my experience, this is what I know to be true. You absolutely need every single part. If you miss any one of these parts, you will struggle. The problem, of course, is that most people aren't just missing one part, one element, they're missing or lacking in all of them. And then they wonder why they're not earning what they want. There's no wonder. When you get all the parts of this formula into place, guess what? You will succeed, and you will most likely become rich. It's as simple as that. It seems to me that there's quite a few decent programs and courses out there on RY, on the right you. It's a pretty popular area. But it also seems to me that there's not that much that I've seen in street smart, I repeat, street smart information and knowledge out there on the other two parts, finding the right vehicle and having and getting the right knowledge, business knowledge that actually works. You know, of course you can get a business degree from school, but you know what? If you ask most people, chances are they don't use too much of that in the real world. So let me ask you this. Are you an expert in marketing? Are you an expert in negotiations? Are you an expert in getting financing? Are you an expert in finding today's hottest new businesses and niches? Are you an expert in systemizing and duplicating? In short, do you know how to do business in a way that can actually create wealth instead of just earning a living? You know what? For most people, the answer is painfully obvious, and the answer is no. So what to do? What to do? What to do? Learn it. Learn it. We just talked about being the best. We just talked about the training. We just talked about how much time and energy other people put into their arenas. Learn it. Like playing piano or golf or tennis. Business is a learnable skill. Let me say that again, please. Business is a learnable skill. No, nobody I know, nobody comes out of the womb a business expert. Everyone has to learn how to do it. And even in my book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, I say, every master was once a disaster. What that means is that everyone who is great at something now was once terrible at it. When they first started, they didn't know what they were doing, but they learned. They learned to succeed. And that's what I did. But one caveat. If you're going to learn things, you do have to make sure you learn the right things. The things that actually make the difference between becoming rich and staying broke. The difference between having a successful, thriving, fun-filled business and struggling. And that's why I created a program called $1 Million Business Secrets. How to create wealth in any business you choose in 3 years or less. Again, if you just want to earn a living, I love you, but you know what? You're better off learning from somebody else. I'll tell you that right now. We're just not a fit, and that's okay. But if you truly want to create wealth in your life, and you are willing to do what it takes, then this is the only, I repeat, the only program I know that is specifically designed to teach you step by step how to create wealth in your own business. So I have a simple philosophy, and the philosophy is this. If you're going to work hard anyways, you might as well get rich, and the quicker the better. And if that resonates with you, then this program is going to be a life changer. So is it okay if I take a moment to explain a little bit about what you're going to learn, and then I have a very, very, very special opportunity for you at the end? Okay? All right, thank you for your permission. So here's just some of what you're going to learn in this program. The program actually has 4 parts. How many parts? 4 parts. And by the way, each of these parts could really be its own seminar by itself. But since you definitely need all 4, we just put them all together into one program. The first part of this is actually called Guerrilla Wealth Tactics. Here, you're going to learn exactly how to turn your business into an automatic money machine and set yourself up, like myself, for a lifetime of passive income. You're going to also learn a step-by-step method to sell your business, like I have several times, if you want to, for millions and millions, and hopefully millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Next, you're going to learn my street smart financing methods, how to get the startup or operating capital you need whenever you need it. And I'm going to show you exactly how I personally have raised from anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000 over and over and over again without asking anybody to finance anything. In addition, I'm going to teach you how to make money. I'm going to teach you. I'm laughing because people are like freaked out when I teach this. I'm going to teach you how to make money, earn money while you're raising money. Okay? I like to say, I promise you're going to be blown away when you hear this. In this section, you're also going to learn a single move, one move that is the fastest and simplest way to double, triple, or even quadruple your income and your profits in your business. One single move. Plus, you're going to learn dozens of others guerrilla business tactics and street smart shortcuts that will make you rich quickly if you follow what I teach you. Okay? That's a bit of a caveat, isn't it? You've got to do what I ask you to do. It's very simple. And by the way, I'm about as simple as you can get because remember I told you I left college after first year. So I don't have the most extensive vocabulary. I'm not all about this complicated stuff. And I just need to keep it simple for myself. And I love simple because simple is usable. Complicated, that's interesting. But I'll take usable any day of the week. Okay. Now, the next part of this $1 Million Business Secrets program is called, one of my favorites, The Secrets of Negotiations. Here, you will learn the secrets of street smart negotiations. These are strategies that actually work in the real world and will save and make you tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in business and in everyday life, even when you're just shopping. Now, I'll give you a little example of a story that my assistant actually wanted me to include in all of my teachings because she was blown away by it herself. So here she is. My assistant was dealing with a hotel in Huntington Beach, and we were gonna have a seminar there, Huntington Beach, California. And she dealt with them, and they wouldn't come off of their $24,000 a day for the room, for the conference room. When I called them, I got it for $6,000, not $24,000, $6,000 a day. By the way, they wanted, when they talked to her, every student was going to pay $16 a day for parking. By the time I spoke to them, our students, $4 a day, $4 a day. And so, you need to know my assistant had dealt with them for 2 weeks and probably on the phone with them for a total of 3-4 hours maybe. Do you know how long I was on the phone with them? I am not kidding you. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. And all I used was a totally amazing 7-word strategy that you're going to learn in this program. And I'll tell you, it's powerful. And I want to say this right now. Always, 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 when it comes to negotiation, we believe in win, 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 okay? Win-win. You never take advantage of people. You will have the tools to do that, but you're not allowed to do that, period. People need to want to do this with you. And I'll say this again and again and again. I'm going to say this right now. People don't realize that in business, you're always negotiating. You're always negotiating, at least you should be. And if you're a poor negotiator, you're going to spend a fortune extra. If you're a good negotiator, you're going to save a fortune. And if you're a great negotiator, you will make a fortune. Negotiation is a critical skill, and it's learnable. In $1 Million Business Secrets, you're going to learn the 14 most powerful, most effective, most enlightened negotiation techniques in existence. And again, I'm going to harp on this. I apologize, but it's important to me. I say enlightened because when I teach this part live, I usually actually have all the participants raise their hand and agree they will only use these techniques for the good, never to harm others, only to create win-win arrangements where both parties are happy. And if you're getting the program, I would like to assume, please, that you are agreeing to that too. You're going to see these are very, very powerful techniques. They work in the real world. And you need to be a good person and make sure that your counterpart that you're dealing with, the other party, is happy as well. And this is important. I'm going to teach you this in the program. This is important. Why do you want your counterpart happy? Why do you want the other party happy? Do you know the answer? Why? Because you're a good person, of course, but so that they're happy, so that they want to continue to do business with you. One of the most costly things in business is to get new suppliers, new customers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you've got somebody that's working with you, you want them keeping working with you. You want them to be happy. You want them to favor you. When they don't have enough of the supply, whatever it is, you don't want them to go, oh, that guy, he bled me to death on the negotiation. I don't want to give them anything. You want them to go, I love them. They were so fair. And I'm going to be, I don't know if I should tell you this. There are so many times when I'm in a negotiation and I've got the person so low, that I go back and I go, you know what? This isn't going to work. And they go, oh no, come on. I'm at my rock bottom. I go, I know you're not just at your rock bottom, you're below your rock bottom. I don't think this can work for you. And they go, what do you mean? I think we're too low now. I think I should pay you a bit more than that. And you got to earn a bit of money so you can keep your business going. I want you to be happy. Do you know how happy they are? Do you know if they have to dive over the moon to help me out, they're going to do it? Because I was the one who suggested that we give them more. All right, next section. Now, again, in our seminars, I always ask this question. And the question I ask is, what business are you in? And I ask people to call out, and they all call out real estate, computers, travel, accounting, massage, dog walking, all these different things. And then I yell, guess what? You are all in one business. That business is marketing. You are all in the marketing business offering XYZ product or service. And this is the same, by the way, if you're even in a job. You are marketing your services to your employer. Howard Ruff, one of the wealthiest people in history, he said this. He said, if I could only teach my children one thing, it would be the skill of marketing. For with that skill, they could be successful in anything they chose. And this, my friends, is the third part of $1 Million Business Secrets. The third part is dedicated to teaching you the ultimate marketing strategy, where you will learn a step-by-step system to become a marketing genius in 1.5 hours flat. I know, I'm not kidding you. You could spend a lifetime trying to become a good marketer, or you can listen to this part of the program. For in it, I will teach you exactly how I've brought in not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, not millions, not even tens of millions, but hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars into my businesses. And you know what? It's not complicated. It's simple, and that's why it works. It works for any business, anywhere. It will work for you, and you'll be able to utilize it in your business the minute you finish learning it. All I can tell you for sure is that this is one of the keys to my riches, good or good. Okay, the fourth part of the program is called How to Generate $1 Million Ideas Every 60 Seconds. Here you're going to find out, you're going to learn and how to find and create dozens of sizzling hot business opportunities, any of which can make you rich. Again, this strategy works anytime, anywhere, in any industry, in any economy. Remember the importance, as we said earlier, of having the right vehicle, RV, the right vehicle at the right time. People are getting really rich right now, really rich right this minute, offering new high-demand products and services that are booming again right now. And the idea is for you to cash in and make these boom for you too. By the end of this part of the program, you're going to be a true master in developing brand new $1 million ideas for a new business or for your current business. And like I said, you'll be able to do this every 60 seconds if you choose to, and you don't get too tired. It's a system. It's a template that you follow. And you know what? When you hear people, I hear it all the time, when you hear people complain that, hey, everything under the sun's been done, or there's just no more good ideas out there anymore, you're going to actually burst out laughing like I do, because while they see nothing, you see nothing but opportunities. There are only a handful of people on this planet who have the skill we're talking about, and you're going to be one of them. And it's going to earn you a fortune. Again, it has for me, and I'd like the honor to pass this rare gift on to you. Now, who's the program for? Who's the entire program for? Well, if you're in any business now, full-time or part-time, then $1 Million Business Secrets is a must, an absolute must. Why would you want to struggle forever? If you are in a personal service business, let me repeat that, a personal service business, a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, an accountant, a plumber, an electrician, a real estate agent, a massage therapist, a healer, a teacher, a coach, a consultant, or any other business where you personally must be there for the value to be delivered, or any situation where you get paid by the hour or for your time, $1 Million Business Secrets will be absolutely critical for you. Why? And please don't take this the wrong way. Please take this with the heart and spirit in which it comes to you, only to help you. Why will it be critical for you? Because for the most part, for most of you who are in a personal service business, you don't really own a business. You actually own a job. And you work for the world's worst boss in the world, yourself. And I actually feel compassionate for you, because you have set up your business to where you have to be there. And again, because your time is limited, your income is limited. One of my pleasures, one of my honors is that I'm going to show you exactly how to rearrange your business so you can not only become rich, but even more importantly, become free. Now, if you're not in business now whatsoever, but you would like to be in business one day or someday, $1 Million Business Secrets, again, is an absolute must. Have you heard the saying that, well, you shouldn't expect to make a profit for the first 3 years in business? I have 2 words to say to that. That's ridiculous. We will teach you how to start your business running instead of crawling, and how to make a fortune in your first month. You heard me right. Your first month, not years, 3 years. Are you kidding me? It's not even worth it. Why would anybody do that? By the way, if you're in a job now and you're not sure if you really want to own your own business, I can promise you this. Everything you learn from this program is going to make you 100 times more valuable in your job, and it's going to bring you much faster and bigger promotions and bigger pay raises. Now, as best-selling author Robert Kiyosaki puts it, he says, if you're in business and you're not earning at least $250,000 a year net in your pocket, there's some things you don't know. Now, Harv Eker, I say it a little differently. And I say this: if you're not earning at least $1 million a year, you are wasting your precious time and life energy. The goal of $1 Million Business Secrets, that program, is for you to learn to earn a minimum $1 million a year. And again, for those who don't know me at all, I've been known to earn that amount in a single weekend. So I believe I might have something to share with you in this arena. Okay, so when and where is this program? The program's online and can be accessed as soon as you enroll. No travel costs, no hotel fees, no extra expenses. You can start as soon as we get off this call, and I would highly suggest you do. What's the tuition? Well, do you know how much it costs to get a Harvard business degree? It actually costs about $250,000, $250,000 plus room and board on top of that. And getting that business degree, well, that teaches you exactly how to get a $60,000 a year job. Whereas the $1 Million Business Secrets program will teach you step by step how to create wealth in your own business and get free for the rest of your life. That is the goal. That is the intention of the program. It's not about earning a living. It's about how do you create wealth in your own business. Here it is. Okay. The normal tuition is $997 for all 4 parts. And you know what? It's easily worth 10 times that. But you know what? I got to tell you, I realize that for some of you, almost $1,000, that's a lot of money, no matter what it's going to do for you. And I realize it because remember, I was there. I know what it feels like to struggle financially. And I know what it's like to be doing okay, but not having any extra. And it's rough. And I understand that. And I feel for you. And that's why I feel it's my duty, my dharma to teach you how to create wealth. Because business is just, it's just way too hard to just earn a living. You know that, right? Again, if you're going to work hard anyways, you might as well get rich, and the quicker the better. And I believe rich is a good thing, not only for yourself and your lifestyle, but I believe that if you have the wherewithal to get rich, it is your absolute duty to do so. Why? So that you can help the people who will never have that wherewithal. And if you get this program, you will have that wherewithal. And definitely, the more you have, the more you can give to others. And there's a lot of people in the world that could certainly use your help. I hope you agree with that. Because sharing this knowledge is part of my mission, part of my purpose in life. If you are willing to do what it takes to register, I am going to do what it takes to help make sure every single one of you listening can get the program. So I want to do something very, 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 very special. And if you register right now, your special tuition will not be $997, but only $249. That's right, only $249 for the entire 4-part program. So to register, simply click the button or link right below this video. And I'll even allow you to take 30 days to go through the entire program. And if you don't agree 100% that $1 Million Business Secrets delivers strategies that would enable you to earn $1 million in 3 years or less, at least, simply contact our office. We'll refund every penny of your investments, no questions asked. And you know what? I'm not stopping there. If you register right now, I'm also going to give you some pretty awesome bonuses. Why? Not that I need to, but because I want you to have them. First, you're going to get access to my 90-minute live Tough Love mentoring call. Here, you can ask me your biggest question or get advice on your #1 life challenge. Or you can sit back and learn from others' experience when they're in the hot seat. It's raw, it's unplugged, you're going to have to be able to take it. And I can tell you this, as many people have told me, one call can completely change your life. Next, We've crafted a set of declarations that you can read every day to make sure that you implement what you learn from the program. So if you register today, you'll get your own $1 Million Business Secrets Declaration screensaver to have up on your computer. And trust me, put it up, keep it up, and your energy will change, your vibration will change, your knowledge will change. It'll remind you of certain things. You will start to naturally make decisions in alignment with what you've learned. Okay, so please do that for me. That's why I want to give it to you as a bonus, because I want you to have it and use it, please. Finally, you're going to get a professionally designed $1 Million Business Secrets workbook. This workbook will help you follow all along with the exercises given in the program, and it's the ideal place to write down your key points and your biggest learnings. You're going to return to it again and again and again, as talked to me, as told me by all the people that have been involved in my programs, and as you grow your business, you'll always have it to refer to. So there you have it. You're going to get all 4 parts: guerrilla wealth tactics, secrets of negotiations, the ultimate marketing strategy, and how to generate $1 million ideas every 60 seconds. You're going to get all the bonuses: my live monthly Tough Love mentoring call, a declaration screensaver, and the $1 Million Business Secrets workbook. Everything for only $249 if you register today. Again, all you have to do is click the link that is right below this video or the button. Now, whatever you choose, whatever you decide to do, I appreciate your time being on this call, being on this video, hearing me out here. And even if this is the only thing you do and you don't get the program, you don't do any more with us, you know what? I just honor your willingness to learn what you've already learned. I honor that. And for those of you who are registering for $1 Million Business Secrets, all I can say to you is, congratulations. You're going to love the program, and you're going to love watching your revenue, your profit, and your lifestyle, and the lifestyle of your family skyrocket. Once again, it has been my honor to be of service, and I look so forward to